And as far as that go, I mean, you know, once again, I welcome y'all. And I'm here in St. Louis, and live in living color with my brother Taalik.
Nobody's being delivered from anything. God ain't doing nothing for nobody right now. And gee, I wonder why. Because these folks are making money.
And that is all Angel Nup 7 has been saying.
Down the road.
Is to get people that think like he does. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Down the road.
He really does care about black women and black men. Black people as a whole. He really does care. But what he has been talking about
down the road
is getting black people into positions that think
would y'all do this next part with us? Because you see, it's because of you guys that this... Everybody get outside! You know what the time is! Come on!
When soul singer and black activist Sam Cooke wrote the lyrics to his song, "A Change Is Gonna Come," it was very direct and to the point. With some changes to it, the song was still digestible. In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for. A change. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. President Trump has already had sit-downs with the wrong representatives of the black community. How about a real discussion with a true grassroots African American? Join and organize Operation Exodus Mississippi today, or become a supporter.
Micah. The first annual PPU retreat and vacation was an absolute success. To come out of the virtual world, the online world, and into a tangible one where we can hug each other and look into each other's eyes and share even more intimate, vulnerable moments and spaces, laugh together, cry together. I mean, we were on an emotional roller coaster that brought us into an even deeper space of fulfillment. We broke bread together. We supported each other in the most interesting moments. We built our dreams together. It was such a beautiful experience, and I look forward to building with this family for years to come.
Go pop it for a plan, pop it for me. Turn around and drop it for a plan, drop it for me.
By brother Angel Snubnub 7 at the Realities Temple. And to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snubnub 7's videos, I think that he comes from a different angle. And there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out, and I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with, or which he may think differently from, and I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the black supremacy movement as well. And I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand and will not stand, and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
Things that make you go, you know, these aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say, this may seem terrible, but oh my God, I didn't know you were black.
Free your mind.
And because we're going to have to change some directions here, because if we continue on the path that we're going, I know on this platform we talk about the mass graves waiting for black folks. You know, if we continue to do what we're doing, we talk about that, but actually it's not looking pretty. When it's all said and done, it's not going to be pretty for nobody, including the white folks either. So I want to give you a reason. I want to give y'all something to think about. And it begins, and my story begins in Europe. And some of you are very knowledgeable about European history, let alone African history. You may know something about European history. In fact, it was amazing because not too long ago I did watch a documentary series. I don't know what it was, the Discovery Channel, History Channel, I forgot where it was at. And it was the history of Europe. And the point I want to make is, or the question I want to bring up, now, we go back to Europe in its beginnings. I'm very sure that there was dark-skinned people in Europe. I don't want to talk about them. I'm talking about as far as Europeans are concerned. The people that they call Caucasian or white people in Europe. I want to talk about their lifestyle and what they did in Europe. That's what I want to concentrate on. If you go back and look at Europe and the history of Europe, the question I want to bring to you is, and I want to talk to the middle class and poor white people that's going to listen to this broadcast, that's listening. I want to ask you a question. How do you think that the poor, well, actually, I don't even think there really was a middle class in early Europe. Either you was poor or you was rich. I don't think there was a so-called middle class. Maybe it was. I don't know. But the point I want to make with this is they were not treated good. And since there was nobody else to bother, There were no dark-skinned people. There was nobody else to oppress. They oppressed themselves. And who was the victims? The victims that was oppressed was other Caucasian people. Had nothing to do with race, but in this case, it had something to do with your class, or maybe even your tribe or wherever you come from. Your class or your religious beliefs. Because to my knowledge, especially in the beginnings of Christianity in Europe, the Catholic Church was involved in actually hiring people, what they call mercenaries, soldiers, to force the population of Europe to embrace Christianity. Because they tried to make people embrace Christianity by blending it with the paganism or the religions that they already was practicing. And it was embraced in that manner, but they continued the original religions. They just added some aspects of Christianity into their religions. That's not what the Catholic Church wanted. They wanted you to accept or embrace Christianity the way they was presenting it. And so they hired mercenaries to actually go out and force this religious doctrine on people. In other words, the Catholic Church was involved with the murder of fellow Europeans. Also, Europeans face high taxation in many countries, and one of the penalties, if you did not pay your taxes, they would draw and quarter you. In other words, if you was late paying $5 in taxes, the penalty would be death. They would strap you up to some horses, your limbs to a horse, and make them horses run in opposite directions and pull your body to pieces. If you look at the history of Europe, Europe is a place under white people's rule. They invented some of the most horrendous devices of torture that you can imagine that come from up out of the human mind. And many of these, if you go to some of these museums, you will see some of these horrific machines that they made to torture, maim, and murder people. This is what you found in Europe. So what you have in Europe, the point simply that I want to make, that among white people, these persons that's actually living in Europe, they were oppressors of themselves. And there was no love, and there was no special treatment because you had white skin. That did not exist in early Europe, prior to what we call racism or white supremacy, the invention of what we call race. There was no mercy. They was practicing horrific things upon themselves. So I'm not shocked once they come out of Europe, that when they began to explore the islands and of course the continent of Africa, and they went to these different places where there were non-Europeans, I am not shocked of what they would do to strangers, foreign people, because of the treatment that they did upon themselves. Now, we come to America. I want to remind the poor, I want to remind the middle class Americans about your own nation that maybe you have forgotten, but it is an easily found, and you should have been taught this in early American history. Upon the founding of this nation, you do remember that this nation was founded upon the rich, wealthy, white, landowners. That's who had special privilege in this country. the rich, wealthy, male, not women, landowners. At this particular moment in time, the Caucasian woman or the white woman, she was basically a servant herself. She had no type of rights or anything of this nature. She was basically something for the rich, wealthy, land-owning Caucasian male just so that he could breed with. That's all she was worth. She really wasn't, she had no say-so in nothing, and she was just there. Then, of course, you had the slaves. So, how was the poor treated in America? The poor was treated in America the same way that you would find the poor anywhere else in this world when you are dealing with a class system, of which this is what we've had to deal with, these class systems. You found suffering among the poor. There was correct me if I'm wrong, but at this moment in time, there was no middle class. It was still either you poor or you rich, basically. There really was no real middle class type situation. And so what am I coming to? What am I bringing? I want to remind you, in this country, going through this economic or this government shutdown, your leaders, the majority of them, are millionaires. So they don't care anything about your suffering. They don't care about what you need. They don't care nothing about none of these different things. They have their agendas. So now you are in the longest government shutdown in history, and nobody really cares about the outcome, because the outcome only affects the middle class and the poor. So clearly, they don't have any concern for you. And guess what? You white. So look, so see, this is what I don't understand about pro-black folks. This economics or government shutdown, of course, our being on the bottom, and I said that that the soul brothers and sisters, the black man and woman, we are on the bottom by choice. I'm saying it by choice, because technically, if we were a separate nation, we would be the 10th richest nation on the planet. So we are on the bottom of America by choice, because we make the choice that I don't like another brother and sister, because I can't get along with another brother and sister. You cannot unite with one another. We cannot bring our talents together. So we are on the bottom by choice, not because we are, not because of the white man. You cannot, how can you economically be the 10th richest nation on the planet and be on the bottom? You're on the bottom because it's by choice. And you are suffering because by choice. Because you made the decision that you don't like you don't like the others who are in the same condition that you are in. And apparently you like being on the bottom, and you're doing this by choice. So why should anybody have empathy, or why should anybody care when you don't even give a damn about yourself? So we are on the bottom by choice, and we're going to suffer. We suffer by choice, because we are in a position where we don't even have to actually allow ourselves to be in such a predicament. However, I want to talk again to the poor white folks and the middle class Caucasian people and the poor and the pro-blacks. This government shutdown is affecting Caucasian people, because when you talk about government contracts and all the businesses and everything affiliated with the government shutdown, it's very few black businesses, because we don't have that going on like that. So it's the white businesses, it's the poor white folks, it's the middle class Caucasian people that is being affected by the government shutdown, And their leadership said, I don't give a damn about you. So where's the special privileges because you white? Where was the special privilege in Europe when they was murdering you, calling you a witch and burning you at the damn stake in Europe and here because you white? Where is your white privilege? The only reason why you have this in your mind is because your leadership, they use that to make a fool out of you so that they can continue to get rich to serve their agenda. And they made you white and make you feel special and put another people in an oppressive position. But when it's all said and done, they don't give a damn about you either. That's why you suffered under this government shutdown. And that's why you have a lot of people coming out talking about the black people in welfare, when the reality is the majority of folks on welfare, not only welfare for mothers and children, but corporate welfare and SSI and Social Security. The majority of people that's getting welfare and entitlement on these entitlement programs is Caucasian people. But since I thought that white gets special privileges, where you tell me why every day on the news I'm listening and seeing white folks talk about they can't make ends meet, they living paycheck to paycheck, they selling their cars and art, recreational vehicles and boats and all that kind of good stuff. But I thought that you're supposed to have white privilege. I'm telling you that it's all a game. It's all a game. There is no white privilege. That's an illusion for those who are in the higher ups, who fit into the category that originally found this program of being rich male landowners. This class system. So if you poor or you middle class, you don't mean a damn thing. But I can hype you up and use my media and blame the Negroes or the illegal aliens and get you all hyped up, and all of a sudden you white and all the white folks supposed to stick together. So why aren't you sticking together in this government shutdown? Where's your white privilege at? Mind you, everybody's not a fool. There are poor and middle class Caucasian people who understand exactly what I'm talking about. And you think, and a lot of folks think that they are hoarding guns and weapons, and they are, what's that word? I forgot what this other word I'm looking for. You think, a lot of people actually think they are prepping for the Negroes, the race war. They are preparing for a war against their own government. That's who the enemy really is, because they understand that this white privilege and this whiteness is nothing but a tool. It was a conditioning process so the rich could get rich and wealthy off of slavery, and so that the poor and the middle class could help them. So they could trick the Irish and the Germans and all these other immigrants that came to this country, who was indentured servants, who was nothing but trash all the way into the 20th century, because the original ghettos was lived in by these poor Caucasian white immigrants. The first gang members and the mafia, all that was these other people that they did not call white folks. This was being used, this whiteness thing was being used so that they can control and have you distracted to other folks while you was being used, and not pay attention that your rich leadership, your wealthy, rich male landowners was in control so they can maintain their power and use you. Because just like many Caucasian people say, they have not benefit. They have not benefit from all of this. How has the average Caucasian person benefit from slavery? How has the average Caucasian person benefited from all these different things that this country has been involved in. They have been used as tools. You have been tricked. You have been bamboozled by your leadership. You have been conditioned to think that you have some kind of special privilege because that you white. But when you go back to Europe, your whiteness did not save you if you did not pay your taxes. They murdered you. And when you get behind in taxes, even in this country, they come and take everything that you got. I don't care if you white. So simply what I'm saying tonight, and speaking to the poor and the middle class, Caucasian people, you've been used. You have been used going on 500 years for an agenda you don't know nothing about, and the majority of you don't even really benefit. You don't benefit. You get some crumbs. You get some crumbs off their table. You get a little decent, you get a little job, and they give you a little something, but they got to give you some crumbs so that you can feel happy and think that you are being treated differently than the ones that's actually on the bottom. You're not being treated like a Negro. But the reality of it, look at you right now, as the government is shut down and they don't give a damn about you because you white. If you really have white privileges, or if there's something special, if the white man look at everybody as white and you a family, then how come he don't give a damn about y'all suffering? Let me also remind y'all, the poor and middle class. Many of you live near nuclear sites because you don't want to live around the Negroes, so you want to go way away from the Negroes, and they have you living close to these nuclear sites and these oil companies that's throwing oil, these toxic fumes, and all these different chemicals, and y'all full of all kinds of cancers and all kinds of stuff that you can't even pronounce. And you know it. There was a movie Julia Roberts starred in. It was a Caucasian activist lady. I forgot what it was. But that's what that story was all about. This oil company poisoning another white man, poisoned his brothers and sisters. They don't give a damn about you. They radiate your food. Your food is genetically modified. Your food is poisoned. They poisoning your air. You work like a Hebrew slave. If you don't get up and go to work tomorrow, your ass gonna starve just like a Negro. But you got white privileges, and these are your brothers and sisters. You've been used for going on 500 years. You've been used. That's my simple message. And what you should need to do, and you should want to do, is you want to change this condition. You should want to destroy racism and white supremacy just as bad as a person of dark skin color. You should want to destroy it too, because you've been used. It's bad for us, and it's bad for you also. You don't have no white privilege. You don't mean a damn thing to them unless you are part of these rich families of wealth that they talk about. And many Caucasian people know about this. But see, I understand, and we're so caught up in black power, white power, and then when it's all said and done, the real powers that be don't give a damn about you or me. We're all being used and played like puppets. Now tell me if I'm lying. I want to know, do you think that I'm telling a lie? Look at what's going on. Look at the history. Look at examine. What do you really have? You got white privilege, and many of you live paycheck to paycheck, and you can lose anything that you got at a drop of a dime. If the rich want your land, the only thing they got to do is claim eminent domain and come take your crap from you, just like anybody else. Well, my family been on this land for 100 years. They say that's nice. They won't be on your family won't be on this land for 101. We need a highway to go through here. But they got you thinking that you are better than the illegal alien, think that you better than black folks and whatever. When it's all said and done, you don't mean a damn thing. You don't mean a damn thing. And we all should be on the same team to eradicate what we call not only white supremacy, but capitalism that's working you to death. You work to death going to a damn job that most of you don't even like, doing a 9 to 5. By the time you're 65 years old and ready to retire, it's time for you to die. You don't wore yourself out working for somebody else, and you don't even get the chance to enjoy your life. You think that's great also. Under capitalism, white supremacy, this whole thing, everybody, regardless to your color, you should want this mess to be brought down. Just as much as the people on the bottom being oppressed. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is your white skin don't mean a damn thing. It don't mean nothing. Because just like, again, if the rich Caucasian, these rich male land owners, which is more than just about land, if they don't have dark-skinned people to oppress because of their system of racism and white supremacy, then they easily turn to you. And apparently, they don't give a damn about you when they are poisoning your air and your water, all your resources. They working you to death. You don't have proper health care. And they're giving you these diseases because of the poison air and land and resources. They know that you're getting all these diseases and you can't afford it, but they don't give a damn about that because they make a lot of money with these funeral home corporations. You can't win for losing. All of us should want a change. All of this, everybody should want to bring this down. It should get to a point where skin color don't mean a damn thing. It should be about whether you right or whether you wrong. Whether you just or unjust. Whether you righteous or unrighteous. Whether you got character or you don't have character. That's where, just like Dr. King used to say all the time, that's what the bottom line should be. All of us need to be ready and fight to bring down this crap here. Because when it's all said and done, like we say on this platform, and people will laugh, and you might even agree that the so-called Negro would go extinct, and our ultimate destiny would be mass graves. Well, guess what? You're not going to be too far behind. Matter of fact, you might not even have the dignity of being put in a mass grave. You might just be left lying on top of the ground, and the vultures and the pigs, whatever, come and eat you up. You might not even get a burial. So I want to give us something to think about. I know you've been thinking about it, but maybe you don't want to believe it, or you just can't accept the reality of it. Ain't nothing special about your white skin. And the reason why black folks are so-called Negro or black Africans, Aborigines, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, the reason why we're on the bottom is by choice. It ain't because of the white man. You want to be silly. You want to be on the bottom. Because you don't want to be a man. You don't want to grow up. You don't want to be a man. You don't want to be a woman. And even if you so-called pro-black, you really hate your own people. Because if you really loved us, then you would do whatever you can to work with brothers and sisters to get us up from off the bottom. But see, a lot of these Negroes, they want slaves too. They want to do exactly what these rich, wealthy landowners do. They want to be able to control. They want to tell you when to get up, when to go to sleep, what God to believe in. They want to control your life just like these bastards. They want to do the same thing. That's why it's not no unity, because you got a bunch of Negro slaves that want to be like their massa. They want to do the same thing to us. Tell you what to do, what to think, how to write, when to take a dump. They want to control your life just like what y'all call the elitist white folks. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want no crazy Peckerwoods on top telling me what to do, and I don't want no silly ass Negro wanna be elitists. I don't give a damn about what they talking about either. It would be better for me to go into a mass grave. It would be better. I'm not going for it. But that's the end of my rant. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And Brother Taalik, if you had something to say on that, what was said, you know, bring it, and we want to bring it to.
Yes, in my own closing out of this, before I let you close the rest of the show out, I just want to say this, with all of what you just said, basically, I mean, you know, it's coming to the point in time, like you said, you have Caucasians like Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura and Ryan Paul that understands this type of situation of what we are speaking about in terms of this video. And I mean, you know, and I mean, it's like, you know, it was a time when Caucasians as well as black slaves were sort of united. When it came to the thing called classism. But what divided them eventually was, like you said, those among the rich class of the Caucasian turned the poor class whites against the black slaves in terms of them thinking that they were better than them. But had that not happened, this country would not be where it's at today. And all people got to do is go research that part of the history, because it's in the books. You just got to do your own independent research. But there was a time where whites and blacks in this country was uniting together against the richer class of Caucasians in this country. But of course, they put a stop to that to maintain white supremacy, you know, and what comes along with it, you know. So, like I said before, you know, it's gonna eventually, if we all don't want to get destroyed, it's gonna have to come back to that. If we don't want to get destroyed, because like you say, there are plenty mass graves across this country. You know what I'm saying? Under FEMA waiting for us. So, I mean, we can keep playing this game all we want to with ourselves, not only ourselves, but with those that we claim we love. But this thing is real. So, I mean, you know, keep playing. That's all I got to say for that. And as far as, you know, dark-skinned people, like you say, by choice, we choose to remain in the slave-like condition that we are in today. By choice. Our ancestors didn't have no choice in the matter. So, you know, we are different from them in that aspect when it comes to choice matter. You see what I'm saying? They did not have no choice at all in the matter. But we have a choice. And we taking the choice upon ourselves to remain in the slave-like condition that we continue to find ourselves in. So, you know, and this is why the more and the more I hear about Caucasians oppressing black people in this country, in whichever form that oppression may come in, I'm beginning to start to scroll past any stories I see about that online. Because the first thing come to my mind, like this former black politician up in Vermont, which is a totally predominant white state, right? Back east. You know, she was once a state politician, but she gave up her political position because of threats on her life and on her family's life. And you know, she was up under some serious pressure, so she gave up her political position. And she had she had some type of it was just in the news today, but she had something going on where she had some type of engagement going on, I guess, when she was speaking from the rostrum. And the same Caucasian that racially harassed her crashed in on her, function that she had going. And I just looked it over. I didn't even read it. Because the first thing came to my mind was, you still want to live comfortably among the races, like you always say. So my thing is this: if that's what you want to do, like you say, why should anybody else care about your oppression? And you don't give a damn about your oppression. I mean, we are in a position where we don't have no kind of protection around us as a whole, as far as us being a dark-skinned people or dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. So, I mean, once we continue, long as we continue to allow ourselves to be in this type of position that we find ourselves in, like you said, who should care?
Yeah.
Even black people like us shouldn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is, and I rest my mic with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why it's very important that we get on board the soul train. I don't know. I mean, the idea came because of a conversation between you and myself, the Mississippi campaign. But it makes no difference where it comes from. It's here. And if you listen to what it's all about, we lay down the foundation. But if you take the foundation and understand exactly what it's about, it is really something that can help us in this situation. It's our only way out. It's the way to go. But we don't want to do that. We want to keep playing these games. Well, then you have to suffer the consequences of your actions. And you can cry. I mean, you can scream and holler and be glad that America is falling, all that you want to. You're going to hell right along with them, because you have no lifeboat to jump in. You don't have nothing. The Mississippi campaign is the only lifeboat that you can get on, and it might be too late to get that raft going. It might be too late, but we want to try, because it's the only thing that can do something. I've been around YouTube and Facebook or whatever, presenting the idea. I just cannot. I can't find I can't find nobody that can really say this won't work. Oh yeah, yeah. I know my live. I received I was receiving a telephone call and it dropped. We are in this situation by choice. It's your choice whether you want to live. It's your choice whether you want to die. It's your business. It's your choice to tell your grandchildren a damn lie that you care about them when you refuse to take the appropriate action in order to secure their future. Because most of these children are nothing but they just been born. They 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, blah blah blah. On and on and on. You are a liar. Talk about you care about their future. You're a liar. You outright lying to these children's faces. And they don't have no choice. They depended upon grown people to do what is right for them and their future. It's up to us. But you're a liar. Like I said before, a lot of these people, the only thing on their mind is they looking for slaves, just like the oppressor was. They want slaves for their plantation. They want you to bow down to them. I'm an African. I'm an Aboriginal. No. I tell you what you are. You're a damn fool. That's what you are.
Hey, that's why the younger generation behind us, Brother Taalik, don't care to listen to people like Farrakhan or Jackson or Stockton. You know, they don't care. They don't even want to hear nothing they got to say. You know, and as far as Farrakhan, the late Dr. Khalid Muhammad was the last connection for Farrakhan to really reach out to the younger generation among our people. And unfortunately, that was over even before Dr. Khalid Muhammad passed away because of the way that Louis Farrakhan crossed him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, I mean, you know, they don't really, you know what I'm saying, them younger, what they call millennials or whatever they want to call them, you know, they don't care nothing, man. You might face a bullet coming at you. If you even run up on them with that black, so-called blackity black stuff, you know? That's the type of mentality they got in the way that they see things, for real, you know? So, I mean, hey, I mean, you running up on the time bomb when you talking about them young millennials like that, you know? And really, like me and you talked about before, you can't really blame them.
No.
For their actions in no kind of way.
No.
I mean, they are our progeny as far as our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren's or whatever coming. But, I mean, you know, hey, that's the mentality that they got. And, you know what I'm saying? They don't, these millennials, you know, matter of fact, they ain't even got no fear of the so-called white supremacist structure.
No.
You better take a look and go back and look at them, what they was doing in Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
And that riot in Baltimore for Freddie Gray's killing. Them young millennials don't care nothing about dying.
They sick of it. They sick of it. It's these YouTube preachers and people like Farrakhan, them old geezers and stuff like that is holding them back.
Yeah.
Cause they to the point where they don't give a damn.
No, they don't.
See,
in my hometown in Detroit,
yeah,
them young millennials cussing police out.
Mm-hmm.
But they care about police, especially with a badge and gun.
Yeah.
They call them all kind of MFs, punks, everything to their face.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Man, they do not. You could call them fools or whatever, but they just don't show no sign of fear for these bastards. And hey, I give them that, but they need to channel, with our help, they could intelligently channel that energy into something positive.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we don't have the right older generation of people to help send them off in that direction. As far as us as a people go, you know, so, I mean, hey, it's like an impasse with them, you know, as far as their future and as far as the future generations that will come after them, if it even be future generations that come after them.
Yeah.
You know? But like I said, hey, man, it's crazy.
Well, I tell you, I know how they feel, because when I was 18 years old, 19, I was ready to go to war and get this over with.
Right.
And it was some other brothers that told me, you know, they ready to, you know, go to war and get it over with.
Right.
It's this leadership that we have that make us docile. You know, I joined the Nation of Islam because I thought they was gonna be taking care of some real business.
Right.
It ain't nothing but going to church.
Exactly.
That's all it turned out to be.
That's why a lot of brothers in the 60s left them and went and joined the original Black Panther Party. Just because of that.
Yeah, it turned out to be nothing but church.
Yeah.
You know, this is serious business. You know, we need to get this. We need to get out of this condition once and for all.
Right.
You know, this just goes on and on and on and on. The hell with that.
Yeah.
And you know, you got all these fakers that's on YouTube with their teachings. The only thing, you know, they're teaching a bunch of crap about Kemet and the symbols and the signs. What the hell do that do to? What do that do to change our condition?
The Nibiru mother plane or the mother plane of all mother planes.
You know, keep going back 5,000 years ago, 10,000, 666 trillion years ago, and all this old crazy stuff.
Talking about the you could get energy from the pyramids. Crap, man, get out of here. You don't never die. You turn into a conscious ball of gas flying around. Right.
And they talk about what's they call it, astral projection.
Right.
Talk about they fly their body. I said, how come your ass was in jail and your ass didn't fly out the jail cell?
Like Malachi York come from the planet of Ilion, the 19th galaxy of Ilion and all this bull crap. Wow. all this nonsense. I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. I'm serious as a heart attack. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Man.
I want to send a shout out to the chat room. We got Rice and Beans in the house, and we got brother, I don't know whether it's a brother or sister, Ruben in the chat room. And Rice and Beans did mention Maurice Muhammad.
Right.
And I did want to talk about. Matter of fact, I should go ahead and knock two birds out with one stone.
Yeah.
Because I did want to talk about Maurice Muhammad just a little bit. Because you know Maurice got this thing against the Nation of Islam right now. You know, he's talking against the Nation of Islam because they won't secure, or they promised to secure this sister. You know, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
They promised to they promised to secure this sister, and they showed up for one day and never came back.
Right.
I keep telling people, I made a video called The Secrets of the FOI. And I told you, them brothers are tired. They can't secure that sister. They tired. They got to work the white man's job. Then they got to do their FOI stuff. You know, go to FOI class and whatever. Sell final call newspapers or whatever. And you know they tired. They can't. You know, they got their own family stuff that they have to deal with. Them brothers is tired. They can't secure that woman. They might have good intent, and somebody should have never even made that promise. They know them brothers is tired. That's too much. And then Maurice calls. He calls Chicago to snitch on the St. Louis FOI, because that's where it was at, in St. St.
Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah.
So basically he's snitching to Chicago on the St. Louis temple, right? And then they angry because they basically get blown off. But see, this is the thing about it. Now he's angry because he's not getting the proper response or something like that. You know, that he think that the nation should give. Because they basically blowing him off and his people. Now it was all right. He thought it was all right when I sent a certified letter asking Minister Farrakhan about this Mississippi campaign, and he didn't respond. And then I made my response to that. He called me a lying nigger. That's what he called me. I was wrong for going off on the nation because they didn't respond to a letter. But now here he is in the same place, and they calling. In fact, some people even said that they actually got hung up on. But now he's complaining that they're not people of their word, and the nation is full of agents. And this is what I also come to find out, that at one time Maurice was a member of the Nation of Islam, but they kicked him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know the reason why. He didn't say.
Who did you get that info from?
He basically verified it. I was watching a part of a video where another brother said he got beat up by Nation of Islam members, and they kicked him out of the nation. And Maurice said, "That's what they done to me." I said, "What?" So he basically verified that he was kicked out the nation too.
Okay.
But he don't want to blame Farrakhan for nothing.
But here it is. He wanted to debate people that critique the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
Man.
Now see, now look. See, I'm a member in good standing. I didn't get kicked out the Nation of Islam. I left on my own accord. Matter of fact, when you join the Nation of Islam, you know, you write a letter, and when you write your letter, your name is put into what they call the Book of Life. And I went to them and asked them, could you take my name out of your Book of Life? Because I don't want nothing to do with you. And they said they couldn't do that. And the only reason why they said that, because I'm a member in good standing. Maurice was kicked out of the nation. And he blamed the people that he interacted with. But see, this is the problem here. You cannot get kicked out of the nation and you think Minister Farrakhan don't give his approval. Because your name goes into the Book of Life. So Minister Farrakhan knows that you got kicked out. And he approved that you got kicked out. So, but he don't want to blame Mr. Farrakhan for nothing. Whatever those people are doing, answering those telephones, Chicago is doing exactly the order. They following the orders that they was given from the top, and the top comes from Minister Farrakhan. But you want to blame it on agents and spies and call those brothers and sisters all kinds of names. They are following their orders. They are following their protocol. It comes from Farrakhan himself, but he don't want to deal with Farrakhan. See, this is the thing about it also. A lot of these people don't even know Minister Farrakhan. The only thing they know is they might shake his hand